Ego disillusion is a delusion. Today's video, we're going to confront this misconception that in order to achieve a saintly state, you have to annihilate your ego. It has to become small and so fluid that you have no awareness of who you are, and you will give yourself away to anything that is of an authoritative power. So, we will do this through a Jungian lens and really explore the psychodynamics of the ego's importance, its function, and also look at why this ego is deemed as bad or sinful. So, let's get into the video. And the first thing we will look at is how Carl Jung saw the ego and expressed this very elusive function of the psyche. He stated that your ego is this focal point of consciousness. So the center is this I, this almost sense of self that has developed or oriented through your external and internal reality. And outside of that is consciousness, awareness. It is the center of awareness. So the ego only perceives as far as it can to its limits. Everything that is within the conscious state is what it identifies with and to an extent as, because it associates all of this psychic content. And also, it will throw away a lot of the things that make it feel as though it won't survive. So, what's coming to mind right now is Freud's quote on the ego. He says, ego is first and foremost body ego, meaning the feeling, the intuition, the thinking, the sensation, everything that the body experiences is bodily ego. Just like psychic ego, it's going to experience only itself in a way that it can adapt and be alive. So the ego is this very elusive function in the psyche, and it's so great. It's so important because it is, the foundation of how you perceive yourself, how you see the world, how you connect with others. Let me read this quote to you from this book that I'd reread, and this is just an explanation of the ego. So if it gives you just a little bit more of an understanding, I hope it does. Fundamentally, the ego is a virtual center of awareness that exists at least from birth, the eye that sees and has always seen from this vantage point, from this body, from this individual point of view. In itself, it is nothing. That is not a thing. It is therefore highly elusive and impossible to pin down. One can even deny that it exists at all, and yet it is always present. While it can be shown to develop and gain strength from this point onward through collision and reality, its core is given. It comes with the infant. So, this ego is something that we have from the moment that we're born. And this is the grounding of I. This is the I that sees. It's a mirror, it reflects itself. And I love that last part of the quote. It talked about collision and development within that conflict. The way that the ego will grow is through collision and conflict within the world. Just ask yourself this question: am I in a place right now where I can take on everything that is coming at me? Or am I victim to this experience? In other words, do you believe that you're strong enough to take on um, your current life? Do you believe that this moment right now that you're in is something that is, you have this will and this capability to continue onward? That's the power of the ego that can say, yes, I see what is, and I can be in this place and take on what is here. So that's just an idea of what the ego is within the Jungian lens. Now, I want to bring forward this disillusion of the ego because if we don't have this grounding, if there is nothing there, then what happens? What happens to the person? Well, this is when someone will fall really prey to these external forces and they will easily, be succumbed by emotions. And this could lead to psychosis, depersonalization, not having a, sense of self. Who am I if they aren't giving me what I need to be here, to be alive? So it's always giving yourself away to this other thing. And there really is no awareness of boundaries. Everything kind of coincides together, and there is a loss of self. And in the psychic state, what will happen is you will fall so far into this fragmentation, you'll fall so far away from yourself that you will be caught within this really cluster of the unconscious world of what other people are projecting onto you. So the ego is so necessary. It is so needed. It is so important. Moral of this video: develop your ego through standing strong in conflict, through learning what it is that you want, through becoming aware of the emotions that you have. I'll do a whole nother video on the ego and its ability to sacrifice itself momentarily to receive new psychic content, to restructure itself so that it can be even stronger than it was. But first, you need to understand the importance of this ego and to know that it's not okay to dissolve it just because spiritual dogma or other people are telling you that the ego is bad, that the ego in Buddhism or in Hinduism, a lot of the Eastern religions think that the ego is this illusion because they're trying to achieve enlightenment, and you do have to move your ego out of the way in order to achieve higher states of consciousness to a degree. But if you're doing this without a rooted system, then you again will fall prey to these other states of consciousness. So no matter what anyone else says, even if they say, "Oh, you have a big ego," or you're so full of yourself, well, maybe you just need to refine your ego. Maybe that's what it is. But we cannot get rid of the ego. It's very important along this individuation process. You know, again, in Carl Jung's work, when we're on this lifetime journey, we're on this to discover who we are without the influences of the outside world, but also letting those be a great boost for us to understand more of ourselves, to discover and uncover more of this natural, more authentic essence that we have. And, as we unfold the individuation, we have to have that strong ego that can take on the unconscious content to do the shadow work, to really look at the things that we have denied about the world and about ourselves so we can integrate them, expand our consciousness just a bit more, and, you know, really gain this greater sense of self with others, with world at large, with the, higher aspect of what this whole experience is. But we need you to have that strong ego to individuate yourself and then to share your gifts with the world. I hope this video has supported you in understanding the ego, its dynamics. Let me know in the comments below how you experience this video, and I will see you in the next one.